All right, what are we in? We're in the Albatross-A-Ball 9-hole cup. All par fives. All of the most albatrossable holes. Well, maybe not all of the most albatrossable holes, but every one of them has a killer albatross shot. Some of them I've only played in, I think the Wiseacre Ranch and the Century ones. I've only played them one or two times, and that's it. So let's go. I'm just gonna go play it. So let's. I can't play Masters. I can't play Expert. No, I can't play Rookie. Playdemic won't allow me to play it. I think I'm banned from those, so I guess I have to play Rookie. Hole number one. Hole number one. This is at Vineyard Acres. I was on this hole. Actually, let's make sure I got bags set up for this. Bag number one, bag number five. It's going to be one of those two. I was playing on this hole in a tournament, and I was in. There is an opportunity on this particular hole. Let's see here. What hole are we on? I had to go to Tommy's site to get to make sure I got the hole numbers right. What kind of crap is that? What kind of crap is that? Hey, get up there. Hole number one. Is this hole number one? Hole number one. All right. I was on this hole one day, and I was in the perfect spot. I was right there in that hole. Perfect spot. I do a rough bump coming into the cup, and hit my drive perfect, and my opponent ended up out of bounds over here and forfeited. And I didn't get an opportunity. I got the eagle, but the deal is that I was in the perfect spot for the Alvy that week. I'd hit it like 2 or 3 times and then did not get to take the Alvy shot. I was pretty pissed off about it. It's kind of a D-bag move to do. There is an opportunity here if you bring out a big enough ball and the wind's going right, where you can try and get up here through this neck. Now, I mean, think about it. Let's see if we can get the whole hole here. I mean, the tee box this is definitely at the end of your run, and you have zero control down here. So if you're even a slight bit off, you know, even from the rough up here, you still got a great shot coming in. But it is possible to get up here through this neck and have a short little chip. I've been in this spot several times, and it's a pretty tricky little chip because of the terrain, how the cup is contoured. So when you're looking at this green here, the green's kind of like this and the flagpole's in the middle, so it's definitely got a backboard. And when this hole first came out and I started playing this hole, I was doing the backboard shot trying to bring it down, but there is a very nice rough bump that you can do here. Very nice. Very, very nice. So we'll try it out. We'll go out there and try it out. Here we go. Let's play it. Now, you can bring out a bigger power ball and try and get all the way up through that neck, but I don't know that you need to bring out a bigger power ball if you're trying to do the rough bump. You can get into your short iron, mid short iron range. Let's see if I can get my trusty dusty calculator out here. I know that there's a slight adjustment to the cup. And this is another one of those holes where I'm at hitting up to the cup is uphill, so it really should be taking a little bit of wind off. But I'm not sure that that's how it plays. And there was one tournament where you really needed to set up a little bit on the left-hand side of the cup, right on the edge. Maybe even just a titch off, because it was taking an irregular bounce coming out of that rough. And then the next time this was in a tournament, I tried to play it the same way from the same exact spot, and that wasn't working. So we'll see how it's playing today. We'll see how it's playing this time. And the farther you hit it out there to the tip, the flatter that bounce is going to be, because that fairway pad right before it gets to the water, it rolls down. So if you get right out on the end, you actually may lose a little distance on the other side. So if you have a 4 power ball, you can get over easy, or a 5. And in this situation, it would be better to bring my extra mount because it's got more topspin. 3.7. It's 2.1 per ring. I'm going to just do a 2-ring pull. That's a 10% adjustment. It gives me a little more room. Hit a 1-ring grade on the left. So if I hit it 1-ring grade on the left, I may still make the spot. See how it takes that flat bounce, and I'm a little short of where I'd like to be. I'd like to be in that little hollow right there, or right at the top of the hill. From where I'm at, I'm pretty close to pin high. I think the pin's still just a little teeny bit higher than me. And they're at max long iron. And they're back a little bit from where I'm at, so I'm probably going to be towards max long iron myself. Let's see here. I'm going to do... It really feels like every time I miss on this hole, I miss on the left-hand side. I can't remember. Man, I don't like how close they are to the front there, but that should be fine. See if they can get it in the hole. See if they made a good adjustment. Hit it 1-ring grate to the left. That was close. .6 should be. I got my Kingfisher on. I'm in my Kingfisher. All right. I'm at max club, so it's 1.1 per ring. Divided by 1.1 should be 2.25 rings. Oh wow, and I'm not sure with my Kingfisher. I may have to switch to my Hornet. Not sure if I have enough. If I get right up there where my opponent was at, I do. 2 1/4 rings. There's 2 1/4. Now I just need to hit it perfect. Man, I didn't hit it perfect. I hit it 1-ring grate to the left, just like my opponent, and it's 1-ring grate to the left. I'm gonna write on my note. I'm gonna do a -5 on that, and if I can end up in that same area, I'm gonna do a -5%. Start left edge of cup. Extra mile and a Titan. Kingmaker works fine. Cut the wind down a little bit. At this point, I realize it isn't going to make any difference. Really, the reason you use the Kingmaker is if you needed the curl or the side spin, and you really don't need the side spin on this hole. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Hole number 2 is Wiseacre Ranch. Hole number 3. Let's go check out that one. Let's see here. Where's my Wiseacre? Hole number 3. Now I really can't remember this hole, but it seems to me that we were able to get up into this fairway, up in here, and take the shot. That we were using this as our launching pad to get over and trying to get some run up. My problem with this area is with the sand. I'm not sure what kind of shot. I can't remember. I really can't remember on this hole what we were doing. So I think we do have several ways that we can play it. You can come out here. My issue out there is, where does that put you as far as club when you figure out your arc? Can you get inside of that arc on this side? And you definitely can. So over here you're going to be hitting it with a longer club. And I'm not a fan of, in these areas, of trying to bounce it over and then run it up. And if you start on the other side, it looks like you're going to have to use some backspin. So you may end up, if you come on this side, having to do the bounce over if you don't have enough backspin to stop it. But I can't remember on this side what it looks like. I know when these holes came out, I tried it from every side just to see, because sometimes you look at it and you go, man, when I look at it, I would rather have my shot coming into the cup where I have all of this fairway and nothing impeding it, so I can try and get a run at it. And there's a rough bump from this side. So if you're over, hey, what the hell is the deal here? Hey, if you're on this side right here, there is a T rough bump that you can do if you can get in the right spot. There may even be one from over here that you could do the rough bump on this side as well. So I'm not sure which side I'm going to play it on, so I'll just go out there and play it. We'll just go play it. We'll see where we can get with a 3 power ball. I do have some 5 power balls, and this is going to be one of those tournaments that those 5 power, the ones that they're selling right now with the top spin boost, those are going to be super popular balls for this. I mean, absolutely. And I know that one of the par 5s that we have here is the Island par 5, and that one having some top spin boost balls. There's going to be some condors on that hole this week for sure. Faux show. But my goal here today is just to go out there and play it with some power 3 balls and kind of remember how to play a few of these holes. These Wiseacre Ranch ones are definitely ones that I need to go back out there and play them. I do have a few practice tokens, so let's go practice one. I'll give you some bonus content here. We'll go practice one and see what it looks like. And hole number 2. And remember how to play it. The thing is, I look at the pictures on older holes. If you told me, hey, what's this hole right here, I wouldn't have any idea. And you show me a picture of it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. On these newer holes, I see a picture of it, and I'm like, I kind of remember how we were playing it. But when I get out there, it starts to come back to you. We'll see. Hopefully he's having a good week. I've been super busy this week. We had I can't say it's a warming spell, but we've been in the 50s this week, and I think in January the temperature didn't get above 40, which for the business I own, we can't work when it's 40 or lower. So this week we went out and we tried to get all of the people that we've had waiting for the weather to break. I was able to call them up and go, hey, I can get you on the schedule. And then word got around, and then people were calling up going, hey, we heard you guys were able to work this week. Were you able to get our stuff done? Or, hey, we saw you at our neighbor's house. Ooh, close. Now, this is going to be great because my opponent's at least going to give us a look on that side. But I'm pretty sure I want to go to the left. Pretty sure. Oh yeah. As far as like how far you can get up there, that's for... Now the second bounce is what we want to look at. And I want to come over here a little so I can give myself a little more room on it. And if you put any curl on there, it kind of defeats the purpose. But I need to put just a titch maybe. 2-2. Not much, but just a little. And hit it one ring great to the right, which is probably going to put me in the rough on the other side. Right along the edge. And we could definitely get up there into some serious stuff if we bring out a power 5 ball. So absolutely, because we could get all the way to the tip up here. And from the tip up here, we're talking wedge range. So, and I think with a sniper, I would actually work that rough bump. There is the bounce over, but I think that there is a good rough bump there. And with this wind, not sure. It definitely looks like we're uphill from where we were at down there, so let's do... What club am I going to be in? There's Max Grizzly. There's Min, so I'm in Mid Grizzly. And Mid Grizzly is 1.4 per ring. Equals divided by 1.4. About 3.5. And I think I would rather bring out a bigger ball and try and get up there a little closer so that I have my wedge. And I'm going to epic fail this rough bump, I'm sure. These rough bumps they're so narrow, if you don't have your wind adjustments right, it's really bad. So I'm going to do 3, 5. Hit it one ring great to the left. Ooh, and it barely hit the rough. Barely. Let's play this one more time, and I'm going to bring out a power 5 ball and see how far, what it looks like. I'll just go out there and play in the round, and I'm going to bring out a power 5 ball in the round and see how far I can get up into that hollow. Because I think the shot from up there is going to be a lot cleaner. That rough bump is a beautiful shot, especially if you're playing in the upper divisions where you get secondary wind effect. That is definitely, once you work out the wind, and that may be one that you have to chase a little bit, like what you do. I did a 15% adjustment right there, and if you go back and rewind that video, I barely cleared that rough. And really the grate to the left, I'm not sure that the grate to the left is what put me so close. I mean, I almost landed in the sand. So I do think I probably should have did a little bit more. All right, let's go just play it. We'll just go play. We'll go play. I don't want to practice. We're just going to play now. And I'll bring out one of those newer balls so we can see it in action. See what kind of distance we can get out there. We should be able to get, if I can stay in the fairway, it should be way down there. Now I do remember talking about this hole when it came out, that if you brought out a bigger power ball and if you wanted to take the rough bump, that you had to watch your distance, because you could actually hit it past the rough bump. So if you hit it out into anywhere past this line right here, you're getting to the point where you've taken yourself out of the rough bump. So at that point, you really want to just go all the way to the end. And that rough bump's narrow. Narrow. Just barely clipped it. And that killed it. Killed it. Let's see what one of those new balls can do. Let's pull it out. Albatross-Ball. We definitely want all of the spin. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put a little bit of curl to try and bring me back around. I got to watch my curl, because once again, if I put too much curl, I'll end up clipping the rough, just like my opponent did. So not a lot of curl. Hit it one ring great to the right, which took out all that curl, so it'll probably go straight. I'm not sure how much more distance I got right there than I did with the other one. We'll see. So I was at mid long iron a minute ago, so we'll see if that brought me up into my short iron range. That's definitely going to be short iron range. So with my Kingfisher, and I would rather take this with my Kingfisher than my Hornet. I like my Hornet, and I've made a lot of shots with my Hornet, but it doesn't feel like I make as many shots with my Hornet as I'd like to. What we need here is a perfect shot so that I can go back and watch it and kind of start working the wind numbers. Been trying to hook up with my buddy Kevin, but our schedules have been crap. Okay, I'm about mid-club right there. And there's definitely not enough topspin on this too. So it's 1.1 times 0.8. and I'm at mid club. Divided by 1.6, 1.92 rings. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. And I'm going to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Just not quite enough of a pull. I did a 15% on the practice, and I did a 10% there. I didn't like my speed. It came through there a little bit faster. I pushed it forward. I had it where I wanted it, but I thought with that little teeny bit of headwind, sometimes it'll kill it. It'll lay it down. So I pushed it forward just a little. If I'd have been on track, if it had hit the flagpole, it would have went in, but if it had been on either side of the flagpole, I think it would have bounced over. And I'm going to put a plus 15. We'll start there. Tomorrow I'll bring out my practice account, and I'm 100% sure I'll be able to hook up with my buddy tomorrow, and we'll go out there and practice it. He's got a bunch of accounts, so he can go out there and practice a bunch of holes and really kind of work the numbers. All right. Two pretty good looks at it though. I like where we're getting. So hole number 3. What is hole number 3? It's Wiseacre Ranch. Hole number 9. Wiseacre Ranch. Hole number 9. And this hole, to be honest with you, I cannot. We've got to be getting over into this area once again. We're on this fairway, so it's bridging the gap from the tee, trying to get out in here with our first bounce, and then bridging this. And I remember coming through here, this bounce coming through here, especially depending on which way the wind was blowing. You could have issues with these rocks. And this is one of those ones. It's like the hole we were just on. So you got to watch your second bounce on these holes, like the bounce on the other side, and where the curl puts you. So if you put a little bit of curl on this one, because it opens up on the left hand side, and from where we're at, if we draw a straight line in this area, we're trying to bring it around this way. So we're going to have to put some left hand curl, and the course is kind of helping us out here on this side. But on this side, we got to watch our first bounce, because if we get to the left, we can end up on the rough, and then we're really screwed. But if we can clear on this side and get to the other side, it does open up in the direction that we want it to open up in. On the hole that we were just on, it was the opposite. So it was kind of easy to make the first bounce, but when you got to the other side, if you put too much left-hand curl on it, and we wanted to go left, the farther you went left, the longer you had to hit it in order to clear. And this is another hole that a Power 5 ball would work good on. So let's try it. See, a lot of people, they always act like rookies don't have access to Power 5 balls, or anything more than an extra mile 3 or a 4. Play Demick gave me these clubs, so I got to play with whatever they gave me. You can't buy clubs. If anybody's figured out a way to buy clubs, let me know. I'd be interested. And Power 5 ball is actually more than I need. A Power 4 would work great here. I'm just going to bring out a Titan. We'll see where we end up with a Titan. In this situation, a little bit of overpower. Hitting it perfect. Now it's whether I put too much overpower on there and I clip the rough. Perfect. Lots of space. It's getting some run forward. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to pick that up. If you brought out with that kind of not being able to get over with a Power 5, Power 4 ball should work fine here. There's probably, with a Power 5 ball, you could probably do a max over power hook shot here, because you got a really good, you've got a deeper fairway on the right hand side, and that's what we're really looking for when we do a max over power hook shot. Is we want to be able to get the max out, especially on a hole like this. A max over power hook shot might work really, really well. I should talk to my buddy Dale and see if he's figured out the max over power hook shot on this hole. And we definitely want to be able to try and get within that range. So we've got that much distance that we need to make up, which isn't a lot. There's Max on a Max club. Let's see how close I can get down here. I can get right on it. I'm going to do... I'm just going to do a 4-2. It's 4-2-5. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit outside. Slightly overpulled it. I might actually want to take just a titch off of that. So my MO, normally at the beginning of the week, especially if you're new to the game, like, and you're making notes for your stuff, my MO is to figure out what ball and club I'm going to use. Like, what club are we going to use and what ball do I need to use on that? I try and stick. It's hard when you start the week off and you're playing with one ball and you switch. Sometimes we can do that because the wind opens up in a direction and like, hey, now there's a shot that you can't take unless you get really good wind. But normally I try and figure out what ball club combo I'm going to use, and then once I figured that out, then I start worrying about wind. So normally I start the week off and I'm pretty conservative, where I'll just take shots. Like, sometimes you can tell that you can't get close to your ring set, and you know that you're way downhill, and so you know you're going to have to adjust that. You're going to have to add wind on. And sometimes your ring set looks so big that you can't see anything but your ring set, and you know that you're uphill, that the pin is uphill, and you probably need to take a little bit of wind off. But normally at the beginning of the week, I'm worried about what club, what ball, and I just try and take shots where I'm taking them at the max club. And if you can hit it perfect, and you can, especially, it's so important to record your own video, because you can go back and watch the video and you can see exactly what you did. And you can adjust for yours, because like, if I give you a number, there's some holes that, like, hey, if you go out here and play this and you're taking this shot, even if you're using a different club, if you're starting, especially on par threes, you know, if you can get some pretty good numbers and you're hitting from the same area, things will work out. But if you're hitting from a different area, you're going to have to figure that stuff out for yourself. But on every hole, you really want to work it for your clubs. And people get married to numbers. They're like, you know, this person said this is the numbers and you never change it. And the thing about it is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're expecting it, and you're not getting the result you're looking for, but you're expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. And so we don't. So be flexible. Just because Tommy or somebody said, hey, this is the number, that doesn't mean that is written in stone. Moses did not bring that down from the mountain. And he had 3 tablets, he dropped 1. So we know that there's one that we don't know what the stuff is on it. Hole number 4. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Hole number 4 is Santa Ventura. Hole number 5. All right, let's go. Let's go. And we'll go Golf Clash. Notebook. Santa Ventura. If I can spell today. It's probably down here a little bit, huh? Santa Ventura, hole number 5. No, this can't be. Is this really? I mean, I think of algae holes. This is not a hole. Can you get an algae on this? Yes. Is this one of those holes that you get on and you go, wow, this hole's got an awesome opportunity for algae? This isn't one of those holes that I normally think of when I think of awesome opportunities for algae. Let's go see. Let's see. Let's make sure that this is the right hole. Is it really the right hole? No. Hole number 4. It's like, man, I was on the wrong course. Ah. Okay. Much, much better. Much, much more better. This hole definitely is algaeable. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can play this hole. In one-on-one, I always lay up right here. I don't even try and get anything. You can bring out a QB. Hell, you can bring your sniper out. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're like this hollow right here, forward of that hollow, you've got a straight in shot with a sniper. Now, I learned this by playing. I've hit a lot of albies on this hole. But you find yourself off a little bit. You can see this little bump right here and this little hill that's right here. When you come in, there is a way to come in this hole. And I was playing one day with Dale Appleby, and like I said, I've hit a bunch of albies on this hole, but this is one of those holes that is albiable. And I was talking to him about it, and he starts off on the top of this hill, and it is much better to start off on the top of the hill and bring it back down to the cup. But what you can do is you can come at it where you can stay in the flat, and you can try and bring it on the bottom side of the hill and bring it up to the cup. You miss a lot. But if you hit perfect, you got your speed right, and you hit the top of this hill and you're bringing it down to the hole, it almost funnels down to the cup. So when we get out here, if I get out here on this spot, I definitely want to look at that. I'm going to practice this hole once because there is a max overpower hook shot that you can do here. And with an APOC, I can't remember where the landing zone is, so I'll have to go out there and take a look at it. Let's see which way the wind's. Well, that wind's not going to help us in the... Let's go practice it. Let's go practice. Let's practice once. Enter practice. Practice now. This is hole number 4. Hole number 4. We'll play for 1. We'll play 1. We'll play 1. I may have to play 2. We'll go out there and see where the spot is. I can't remember exactly where the landing spot was. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna go back and look at one of my videos, and I'll find out. Hold on 1 second. All right, I went and looked at it. So I am gonna practice this hole. I'm gonna practice it 1 time. So we got hole number 4. I think I know the spot. I'm gonna have to work out. I'm going to have to change it because I'm going to use my Apocalypse instead of my extra mile. Maybe. Because of the one side span. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll get more rod distance with my extra mile with max topspin and the topspin boost than I would with my Apocalypse. But my Apocalypse, I can bring it around the corner better because it has more curl. But because it has more curl, I got to take it out just a little bit further to the right. When you're doing these max overpower hook shots, you change one club, you change the ball, you gotta go back and set it back up again. Let's try it. I'm gonna try one of those Albatross balls just because. No, I'm going to bring this back. I think that's too far in. I'm going to try that though. And what I have right there is I've got my orange ring right on the transition between the fairway and the rough. And I think I need to take it more to the right. But because I don't have as much side spin, yep, I need to take it more to the right, probably 1.5 rings. Take it out about 1.5 rings, I'm gonna start, I'll take it out I was on my orange ring on that transition. I'm going to pull it out so that I'm maybe a quarter of the way into my clear ring. Yes, you can go look. There's charts out there where you can find out how many rings you need to pull it over. The deal is that once you make, I don't, if you do that, and I do that too, where I'll pull the very first time, I'll pull a shot out and I'll count how many rings over I am, but I only do that the very first time. After the first time, I don't do that anymore. What I do is I try and figure out where I'm at, where I started. Like I find a mark. And that's that little hill. See where it's tailing off there at the end? I'm going to try and tail that off so that it goes towards the cup. I'm not sure if I can get to the right spot with it. And see if you're over here how it hooks. But if you're on the hill up here, if you have more side spin, so a better side spin ball would definitely be better. It's 2 per ring. 3-9. That'd be 4-3. I'm going to do a ring and a titch. Or excuse me, 2 rings and a titch. That's a technical term. Industry jargon. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And if I was going to hit it one way or the other, great to the right is better. But if you can bring it off of that hill, it'll funnel right down towards the cup. But you're definitely going to need a ball that's got more than 1 side spin. Definitely. See what my opponent can do. See if they can get it in the hole. Get in the hole. Go home, ball. Isn't it perfect? I guess my opponent didn't like not getting the outie. And that was way off. All right, in the hole. I'm going to play that one more time. I'm going to move it out just so I can see. I want to see what these extra top spin boost balls can do if you can catch it right. In the hole. All right, eagle. All right, give me 1 second. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I made some. They're Taylor's clappers. You can look them up. They're super. They want like $35 or $40 for them, and I am a woodworker. I make furniture as a hobby. I make my own inlaid veneers, and I had some family members that were like, "Hey, I don't want to spend 35 or 40 bucks for this. Can you make me some?" So I made a bunch, and I still have some to mail out. This is practice. I'm just going to go play it. I think I got it down. I think I figured it out. I'm not 100% sure I figured it out, but I feel like I can get it. I know where I need to go. I need to go farther to the right, so we'll see how it goes. And I want to hit just left of the center line. So if you draw a line through the center of this fairway up here going towards the cup, you can see where the rough kicks out right here, and where I want to be is right on the outside edge of that, right on the left-hand edge. Hitting it perfect. El perfecto. They're going to end up in the rough or the sand. This hole's funny. When Golf Clash first started, this hole right here, the first cut of we're on the green. You're on the fairway, and then you're in the first cut of the rough. If you hit it outside of the first cut of the rough, you were out of bounds. And so it was really easy on this hole to get out of bounds. So I was right here last time. I'm going to come out to at rest. About a ring. I'm about half into my clear ring on that transition. 3-1. about a ring and a half. And I got all of it. I still don't think I moved out far enough. Nope. Same spot I was in last time. All right. I'm going to make a big jump and just move it way out. How many of those balls are you going to waste, dude? I'm taking one for the team. The thing I don't like about this ball is that if you, like right here where I'm at, I should still have a pretty decent shot at Albie, but I would rather come in at it on the right and come down that hill like I was talking about, as opposed to having to come at it from the left. Three, 4. I'll do a 3-7. It's 2 per ring at this distance. So there's 2, 3, 3, 5, 3, 7. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. And didn't pull it enough. All right, back to the drawing board. Let's go out there one more time. I'm gonna go practice this hole again. I'm gonna burn one more of these balls. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna make a massive pull. I want to be on the other side of the fairway this time because then I know what the throw is. In the hole. As far as like super albiable holes, the first 2 for sure. I think this hole right here is definitely they're all albiable, all the ones we played so far. But as far as like super albi, hole number 1 and hole number 2 are for sure super albi. Let's go practice that hole one more time. How many times you got to practice that hole, dude, before you get it right? As many times as it takes. Was that hole number 4? Hole number 4. All right, this is it. We're making it this time. I must have hit it last time with No, I was using a rose ball, so that's power 5, but that's a 2 side spin ball. And I was in a very similar area. We'll see. With my extra mile, I should be starting off like 2.5 ring sets. So somewhere in the 20 ring range. 20 to 25. I'm usually pretty conservative on that, and I usually start at around 20, 21. But that's the deal. You can talk to 50 people that do max overpower hook shots on a regular basis, and they all have a different way that they're doing it. Dale Appleby's probably, he does max overpower hook shots all the time, and I do them, especially recovery stuff, I do max overpower hooks all the time. And we set them up totally different. Out there playing, we probably set them up pretty much exactly the same, but once we get in tournaments where you can kind of set your shot up a little bit better, so I started off, I'm going way in the hell out. So I want to be there. There's 10. I'm going way the hell out. I'm going to go like half my clear ring on the second cut. I think that's where I should have been to begin with. What kind of Ricky ass move was that? 3-4. I'm going to do 3-7. There's 3-7. Well, let's see if I can just catch the fairway. Hell, if I can catch the fairway, then you can figure it out from that point. There you go. And that trajectory right there, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fix with that ball, because there's not a whole lot more room. I can bring it into the left to get through that gap, and that's all about the side spin. So if I want to use that ball, I need a club that's got more curl so that I can straighten it up so that when it comes down the fairway, it's going straight towards the cup as opposed to off at the angle. But getting over to the other side of that little peninsula is definitely the goal. I'm not sure that this is the right ball for this. I like the fact that it has the top spin because it can get you farther down there. But the flip side of that is, where are we at in our? I was hoping I cleared it. I'm gonna just shoot right to the front. I'm just gonna shoot it over so that we can see what it would. I want to see what that shot looks like from the other side. The closest I've ever been on this hole is right off, like almost on the fringe. And I have hit it over. I caught it one day with a tailwind and I actually ended up over the green. It can be done. Okay, I'm in my Kingfisher. There's max. There's min. So I'm about mid club. I'm going to play at 1.6 per ring. I'd almost rather be backed a little bit further. So 2 is 3-2, so it's a little over 2 if I just take a straight up shot. So there's 3-2 and a little. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Now, I would much rather take that shot with my short iron than I would. Faux show. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video on that and see where that ball bounced through. And tomorrow, for sure, I'm gonna play with my buddy Kevin, and we're probably gonna play a few practice rounds. I'll play it with my out account, so I won't have the bigger balls in that account because it doesn't have anything like that. So I may have to play it with just like a regular Titan or a Kingmaker, and you can still get way the hell up there with Kingmaker. You can get it done. Let's see here. What hole are we on? What hole are we on now? We're on hole number 5. Hole number 5. Let's see, where's my draw box? Century Harbor, I believe. Let's see, I can't remember. I don't remember which holes they're on. It's hole number 5. I'm at Tommy's site because he's got Golf Clash Notebook has let me down. They don't have the they don't have all the holes. They haven't updated their site in 50 years. Now, the last time we played this hole, I actually got several times down into this area where I thought I was going to hit this rough, and I actually ended up in the sand down here. And it looks to me, was this sand trap here before? Which hole is this? Century Harbor, hole 9, par 5. I don't remember that. Was that a little bit of sand? I guess it was. I was hitting off of this pad right here and trying to get it down into this area. Also seems like we were hitting it over here. We tried hitting it over into this area and bringing it up through it. And I actually think that might have been where we were going as the week went on. There was a great, I think as the week went on, instead of trying to get it out into this area, that there was a shot from out here, and it was a beautiful rough bump. If I remember correctly, I made that rough bump several times that week. So let's go out there and look at it. I can't remember what kind of ball I had to bring out there. This is not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for, I got too many windows open. We'll go out there with a mortal ball to start off with. What are our ball options? What kind of power 4 balls do I got? Very limited. Seems like I have one other ball where I've got some topspin boost. And this one might actually be better for that. We'll have to see. This ball might work. I'll start off with a Kingmaker. And we'll start off with a Titan. We'll start off with the King of Balls. You can't get it done with the King of Balls. What the hell? You just can't get it done. This tournament is not sponsored by Titan. But it could be. All right, here we go. I'm 100% sure a minus 12 is not going to get it done. The last 3 holes should be curious to see what I know that one of those holes is the island hole. It was hole number 9 in one of the community cups here a couple of years ago. Talk about a nerve-wracking tournament. It's one of those ones where you had to shoot like these monster score. Obviously, they're community cups. You gotta drop a lot of stuff. And I did that right there, and I ended up in that sand and the sand in front of it. I actually bounced over that sand once and ended up in the sand in front of it. I'm going to use that wind to my advantage, and I'm going to come over to this area right here. The wind's going to push me forward about a ring and a half into my orange ring, so I should have plenty of clearance there. And I do believe you can hit it over. And I hit it 75,000 rings straight to the left, so that'll probably end up in the rough. Unless I get real lucky right there, and I'm not going to. And a bigger power ball definitely would have helped. See what happens when you play with a ball manufacturer? They're messing around with us. Why are your only 2 options max topspin or max backspin? Can't you go in between? And where that's at, it's just going to push it and it's going to go cut in half. Okay, now you're going to short shoot it. What kind of shot setup is that? And if that doesn't go long, along of the hole, like where, okay, see where their second bounce was? They didn't adjust the wind out. What were you thinking? That's exactly how you set it up, dude. Max club. Yeah, I suppose I could take a max club from there, but I really wanted to be out into this area, so let's just hit it out here so we can see what it looks like. We'll just take a drop. My caddy's like, "What the hell are you doing, dude? You just took a penalty stroke." Because I have confidence I can get this in the hole. Supreme confidence. Are you practicing? Maybe. Maybe I'll have 2 accounts to play tomorrow, and tomorrow it'll be like a 4-hour video. That's really what I should do. Don't tell me what to do. Perfect. In the hole. kind of shot we got from here. Was there a rough bump from here? Nah, maybe there wasn't. Maybe this wasn't the hole with the rough bump. Definitely downhill. Faux show. There's max. I'm right at max. Pretty close. If you were using a slider, what, maybe 90%? I'm going to do a 20%, so that's 3.7. There's 3, 5, 6, 7. Hitting it perfect. Probably should have did more. Just a bit more. Probably should have did like 30, maybe even 32 and a half. That's one of the benefits of using a calculator, is you can do numbers. Sometimes you're out there and you're playing and you're like, man, 30 didn't work and 35 was off. What the hell? You're using a calculator, you type in 32 and a half in the hole. Let's make sure we do not. What's it take to qualify here? Holy crap. Really? Well, I suppose if you're doing minus 18 would be minimum score. So if you pick up the eagle on every hole, you're at minus 18. I was looking at it going, wait a second, are we playing 18 holes? 18 holes? So normally our minimum score would be minus 12, but if we got par 5s that we can get albies on, so we got eagles on every hole, so minimum score is 18. So you've got to be able to shoot higher than an 18. So we got a 21 that picked up 3 albies on it. And that's, 21 42s. A 21 is going to be a pretty good. I think the first 2 holes, and I know that there's a couple of these holes that are coming up, they're super albiable. So I'm not going to qualify today. I want to make sure I don't qualify. So we'll make sure we missed out. Excuse me. I'll go for all the albies on all the holes. Hole number 6. And once again, this is on what hole? Hole number 6. Yeah, so hole number 6. And I can't remember this hole at all. I don't remember this hole at all. I just can't believe there isn't a max overpower hook shot on that hole. We'll go out there and play it. We'll just go play it. I really can't remember that hole. I'm sure I played it a few times, but I can't remember it. A lot of times you can get out there on a hole and the hole will make itself evident. It'll be the shot that you need to take will become evident. Hopefully this will be one of them. Ah, I remember this now. I remember. It's all coming back to me. We're trying to hit out into this area right here. And you can do this with a power 3 ball. Very nicely. But I do think a Kingmaker works out better for the shot going into the cup. Let's see where the cup's at. It did seem like a Big Topper was a better club on this, because you could, where we were having to set it up, we were actually pulling a little bit back from the red line. If I brought a power 5 ball out, might get over to the other side. Let's see what that looks like, since we're practicing today. Let's see if I put on all of the topspin. Can I get over to the other side? Hell yeah. With that wind, I could potentially get over to the other side. Right there. You could do that. Yes, you could. Faux show. Rank Kingmaker. And I'm going to switch to my number 3 bag. And I don't really like what I have in there as far as this big. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that second shot with my wood. I better snap it off or I'm going to run out of time. I didn't set it up very well and I didn't move the wind correctly, so I'm probably going to end up in the rough right there. And this is the one that's got the rough bump that you can do. See if my opponent can get it in the hole. Maybe. And I think I want to go a little bit farther forward for the rough up and then bring it back more to the right, instead of trying to take the straight up shot like my opponent. Now my opponent may have had a red line issue and that's why they were back like that, but I'd rather hit that rough bump. And they just barely clipped that rough bump. Barely. Yeah, definitely would. So this would be a max sniper shot from right here. If I remember correctly, this is 1.8 per ring, so 2 rings would be 3.6. Here's 1, 2. Ah! Hit it great to the right. Right over the hole. And I'm not sure that that was wrong. The deal is that the way it comes off that hill, if I'd hit it perfect, it's coming back to the right with the side spin that's on there. So I'm not sure, like on that particular shot, that even though it was right there over the hole, as far as like my adjustment that I made, it would have been much better to take that with a more accurate club. And this is one of those holes that you can bring out a low wind ball, so you don't necessarily need to bring out a power 3 ball because of where we're trying to land. Although I think on the second shot, in order to get to the right spot, you'll probably have to have a power 3 ball, but if you got one of those power 3 balls that's got low wind, this would definitely be a hole to use it on. If and you've got some in your inventory. Faux show. I really think that hole, let's go look at that hole. One of the things that when you're in a spot like this with your extra mile, and let's say you've got a power 3 ball and your red line's right here, well, you can't go past that, so you're going to have to pull it back towards the tee box. So if you pull your extra mile to here, then you look at your extra mile and go, yeah, I can pound it out there a mile. Well, you can't pound it out there a mile because you can't get all the way to your red line. You're having to pull it back. This is a prime spot where you need to switch your bag, and your big topper will net you more yardage down here. So especially if you don't have a maxed out extra mile and you look at top spin, you're going to be able to net a lot more distance with your big topper than you are with your extra mile. So anytime you have to pull back from the red line in order to get into the fairway pad that you're trying to bounce to, and then you need the ball to run forward for a while, this is a great opportunity for a big topper. Now, if you've got a lower developed big topper, the problem is that it's not that accurate. And so if you hit it one ring great to the left or the right here, it's not going to kill you. It was just one ring great to the left or the right. It still caught the fairway, because you can leave yourself tons of room here. And you're trying to get the ball to go off like in this direction, and this is the way it's going to be going. It won't want to go straight through. You're going to kind of be at a little bit of an angle. And so if you hit it great to the left, you're going to clip up here. Or you could get caught because that club is really inaccurate when it's lower level. You hit it great to the right and it makes it all the way through, and then it gets caught up down in here. I did notice that the last time we played this hole, now that it's starting to come back to me, that if you are down here, you can recover and still get up to the cup. You may not have like the perfect shot you're looking for, but you can still recover. If you end up on the fairway down here, you can definitely recover. But if you're in the rough down here and you've got a Nirvana in your bag, you can recover. You can get yourself right off the green and you can get up there and you can recover it. But the 5-power ball, if the wind's blowing anything positive, we're getting any kind of forward moving wind, bring out a power 5 ball and trying to basically do a rough bump here. Now, if you caught it in the wind, because I think the wind's going to make it carry a little bit farther, you're going to be able to run up this fairway. So if you're taking this shot, I really do think it's going to, because of the terrain here, it is going to make the ball carry. And if you clear it and you're faced off in this direction, it could be very easy that you could run off. So you got to watch where your tail's out and think about what would happen if we've got good wind. Like if the ball did catch the fairway, like where is it going to end up out here? Because you definitely don't want to take the shot and then end up in the rough on the back side here. I'd rather actually have it clip the rough and just bleed out and be right here in the middle. If this is wood, this is long iron. And you've got a much better shot of making it in the hole with the long iron. With the long iron, you may or may not, that rough bump, like as far as angle wise to the rough bump, if you're out in this area taking this rough bump coming in, whereas if you're out in this area, you may still be able to take the rough bump, but you may actually, if you got out there too far, actually take the rough bump out of play where you've got to go straight to the cup. But it would definitely be worth exploring this with a power 5 ball. This is one of those situations where you want the wind to help you so that you can get over here. So you could even bring out like a, you could bring out like a power 0 ball, but that doesn't help you as much on the other side. The winds aren't that bad in Ricky, so it's not going to make that big of a difference, but anytime you can cut wind down, the better, because you know that your opponents are pulling out the stops. All right, hole number 7. What do we get on that? You get a 2? I got to make sure I don't qualify. Whatever, we do not want to get the 18. So if I make an Albie, I'm going to have to drop another shot. Hole number 7. Hole number 7 is, let's go see here. Let's go see what hole number 7 is. Hole number 7. What hole is this? Jamal Dunes, that's right. And I'm going to, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this, but if you bring out, I'm going to try and get to right here. Now, when this hole first came out, I shot the shot into way out here, because you can get it way out into that area. This area out here in Rookie, there's tourists out here. They're spectators. They're spectators out here. Okay, they're surrounding the hole. They're only leaving this part of the cup for us to hit to. So if you want to hit your ball out here, you can expect that you're probably going to get in some trouble, because there's going to be some fans that are going to be really pissed off at you. Nobody hits the ball out there. Nobody. If you hit the ball right into this, where you're right in front of that sand trap, and it doesn't take a lot, you can do, off of this rough, you can do a rough bump with your sniper and go straight to the cup. And if I remember correctly, we were doing a 10%. 10% with a sniper. And you've got to bring a Kingmaker. A Titan does not have enough side spin. You may be able to do it you might be able to do it with a Katana. But you have to have 3 side spin. I'm pretty sure we were bringing out Kingmakers. Kingmaker. I need to buy some just so I have some. Alright. Kingmaker selected, and I'm going to bring my number 1. And I'm going to set up a bag that's got... I'm not going to be using my rock in this tournament, so... I've got my accurate bag there. I'm going to set this bag up with a big Tapa. Instead of my Cataclysm, I want to bring a sniper. I want to get rid of that. That looks good. Got all the usual suspects. I carry this bag right here. This is my number 3 bag. A big topper with your biggest wood that you have, whether it be a big dog or a Cataclysm or whatever it happens to be, whatever the biggest wood is that you have. And there's a lot of holes that you can get out on a one-on-one play that this bag right here is the bag. Where this bag will hurt you is in shootouts. If you end up going to the shootout, this bag can hurt you because a lot of shootouts you're going to be using your wood, and it may cause you a few problems, but that bag can, excuse me, that bag can save you. All right, let's just go play it. Hole number 9, hole number 7. One of these last 2 holes has got to be that island hole. And I don't know that I've ever played that hole with the topspin boost balls, and I'm always slightly off and have to take a chip to get on. And I think with those topspin balls you could actually get on, and I have swirled the cup. It's the closest I've ever came to a condor. I did swirl the cup on there one time. I have been on several times, but usually I'm right off. Hopefully it's the hole. Hopefully that hole is in this tournament. I haven't actually looked at all of them, obviously, because I don't know. And I'm playing Tommy. Look at that. I played Golf Clash Tommy once when I first started playing. When I very first started playing, he waxed my ass. He had a buddy named Nicholas. Back in those days, you could replay all day. And he had a buddy named Nicholas that shot videos as well, and I went out there and played Nicholas, and he was a maxed out trophy player, and I had like 150 trophies. And he bankrupted me to the point where I kept replaying because I was watching how he was playing, and I was learning a ton just by watching like how he was doing his shots and how he was setting them up. It was definitely worth getting my butt kicked as many times as I did. It's where I learned how to run topspin on your wedge. I was watching him do it and I was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? If you watch this video from the beginning, the one hole where I was like, hey, I don't think of this as being a big par, Albi par 5. That hole right there is the first time I ever saw anybody run topspin like that, and I was amazed when I got done playing him. After I played till I ran out, I couldn't afford to play anymore. I didn't have any more coins. I had to drop back down to like tour 1 and work my coins up. It was definitely worth it though. Definitely worth it. I liked it because you can go out there sometimes and you find somebody that really wants to play and they just want to play. They don't really care about the coins. They're just out there playing. They just want to have some fun, and you just get 3 and then you're done. I really kind of liked it when you could play people all day. I think Playdemic's whole thing is, well, yeah, but people will be giving each other coins and stuff. What the hell do you care? You sell balls. Here we go. Alright. I'm a men club. Let's see what we got here for wind. 3.6 times. I'm going to move it 3 rings. Three rings. Not sure that that'll be enough, but that's what I'm going to move it. And that's a minimum club adjustment. If I can get the shot off. Isn't it perfect? See if we can make it to the cup. A little short. So what I did there was I did the wind. I did a 10% adjustment, so I slightly over pulled it. And from where I ended up, I may not have needed to do that. And then I did a minimum adjustment, which is 1.3 per ring. And I'm not sure if I had enough speed. Maybe. Close. Not too worried about win numbers today. I'll go back and watch this video and see where I was at. Play one more practice round. What I'll do is I'll take notes off of that video. I'll go back and watch the video and see what I did. On the holes that I didn't hit perfect. I probably won't do much different. I may come out a little bit different, but now I'll know what ball club combo I need, so I'll have more time to set the shot up. And then the next round, I'll worry about win numbers. Hole number 8. What is hole number 8? Hole number 8. Okay, so the last time we played this hole in tournament, I've played this hole I don't know how many times. My MO in the past has always been like to try and get out into the shadow, because you've got a straight in shot, and when you're at the cup, there's a ridge that runs along here, and it's super easy to blow through the break where you hit the ball and it's just a little too fast, and it'll stay on that hill and you'll end up being on the right hand side long of the cup. If you hit it a little bit too slow and it catches that break, it'll drift off as it's rolling down this hill. It'll drift off and you'll end up to the left of the cup. And I've always found that it's kind of difficult from out here to get it in. In one-on-one play, I usually don't end up quite in the shadows. I'm more out here. And I've made this shot a ton of times, and I've made it a ton of times with my Guardian. And I really didn't have to do that much. So there is a great shot from out here. If the wind's blowing right, especially if you're playing the upper divisions, they're going to try and get on and one, because they're going to use this as a launching pad to go bounce number 1, bounce number 2, and they're going to try and get it up here or on this pad. There is a rough bump that you can do from over here, where you're using this rough right here and then you're bringing it back to the cup. This is not my typical normal cup of tea rough bump, because I would prefer the rough bump be on a tee. Because when you're hitting it at this angle, if you're to the left, you're caught in the deep rough and it won't make it out, because it's got to bounce farther out of the rough in order to clear and get in the fairway. And you can very easily find yourself getting caught up in the rough, which screws your whole hole. If you hit it to the right, you're missing the rough completely, and now you're going for a wild ride. And this isn't typically the type of rough bump that I like to take. But the last time we played this hole, if the wind is tailwind, if you got any kind of positive moving wind and you bring out a power 5 ball, you can come over to this side and you can do a rough bump and bleed out into the fairway right here. Now you can overshoot it and end up bleeding off into the rough, but you can easily recover from there. And I was using my APOC and trying to get from here and trying to bring it around so that I could get a little bit of forward run, landing in this area, and from here you have a perfect tee rough bump. And I mean, and the thing I like about this is that here's the pin and here's that ridge I'm talking about, and everything's kind of falling down this way, and this area here is flat. If you're taking this shot right here coming to the cup using this rough bump, you're coming up and you've got a straight shot to the cup. So the hill isn't really affecting your shot. You're more talking about elevation adjustments, not the actual terrain on the green affecting the way that your ball rolls out. So if the wind is, so the last time we played this in a tournament, anytime we had tailwind, I brought out a power 5 ball and went for this zone. And anytime we had headwind, I couldn't make it with a power 5 ball. You can't quite get to the area. So I had to revert back over and take this shot and come at it. So I had 2 different shots on this hole depending on the wind. Hopefully, they'll give us a forward moving wind all week or in the weekend round so that we can really try and go for it. But so that's how I'm gonna play it. If the wind's going on the other side, and you don't really need a topspin boost ball. I think just a normal, I could take a Zerk. Do I have any Zerks? I probably don't have many. Got 8. You would think from a ball manufacturer, like if you play real golf and you want to buy whatever balls out there, those ball manufacturers don't make it so that you can't find their balls. Okay? Or, hey dude, you've got to go out and play some holes before you can get, or do some stuff. They have a store called a golf shop. And you go into that store and it says balls. And you go into the ball section and you've got every ball that's sold that you can buy. And I can't believe how much money EA Sports, who are notorious for liking to make money, I can't believe that there isn't a ball shop where you can go in and buy balls and buy a pack. Now, would everybody out there go out there and buy a $5 pack of Berserker balls, a 9-pack? And it would really be nice if they sold 10 packs, because that's 2 holes in a regular tournament. But there's a lot of people that would go out there and pay $5 or $10 for a pack of balls. And I just can't believe that they haven't, that they don't have some ball, and maybe they don't have every ball that they have, but at least some special balls that people could buy, because they could get on a hole like this and go, man, I wonder if they're selling any 5-power low wind balls or whatever the ball happens to be for that situation. All right, the hell were they thinking? I can't believe all the different ways that they don't want to make money. They came out with those precision balls, which basically took the whole, hey, we're trying to get this game to the point where we can take the top 100 players and we can televise it and actually make it a real sport. They took that out unless they ban them. They'll have to ban those precision balls. Otherwise, I mean, why would you take it serious if you've got driver assist? Like, I'm not really driving the car, somebody else is driving it for me. Now, this wind might be right on the edge. It's pretty neutral wind. Actually, a little bit of tailwind from the angle that we'd be coming at that. And you do not have to hit over to the other side in order to get into the perfect spot. You can bounce off of this island and get underneath of those shadows. There you go. And you can take it with a QB. That's probably the best club to play this with, because it's got more, I think it has more topspin than the Rock. This is one of those holes where it would be the better club. Where are you short shooting? You are definitely short shooting that shot. Definitely. They have a really good angle from there. For sure. For sure. Yeah, that one's a little helpful. I really don't want to hit in the second cut of the rough as much as I'd rather hit in the first cut. So I'm going to start it off over here, a little more to the right. We'll take the wind out. It's about 2.5 rings. It's 1.5 per ring. Make sure we got all of our forward distance. See if we can catch it and just bleed out into that fairway over there. Excellent. And we'll have a beautiful rough bump from here. I played this hole so many times. We had a couple tournaments. I don't know if I took the hole for granted or what the hell it is, but it kicked my ass. Like 2 tournaments in a row. Like, I got on this hole, and this hole like ate my lunch. And it's like I played this hole 1,000 times. I could play this hole in one-on-one with a freaking marlin, and I'm coming out here with a kingmaker, and I'm getting a freaking birdie. What the hell's the deal? When it spins around, it's hard to see that ridge, but it definitely drops off there. All right, I got a straight up shot, and I am right at max club. So it's 1 per ring. And I'm just going to do a max adjustment. So it's 3.8 rings. about 385, 39. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how close we can get. Didn't pull it enough. Definitely need to add some onto it. I think I'm going to add like 15 and see where that puts me. If I can get to that side over there. Oh, now come on, dude. Come on, man. What kind of deal is that, Hennessy? This is the whole deal. For those of you that haven't played Forever and a Day, you used to, you know, every hole you went to a shootout, every hole somebody won something. And you'd get people that would, you know, like if you wanted to, if you were out practicing, hey, no big deal. Wait until your opponents finish their stuff. You could go to the shootout. You could forfeit the shootout and give them the win. They got a chest. You're giving back to the community. But forfeiting while you're out here on the thing, really kind of messing with your opponent's stuff, is kind of a D-bag move. Golf is supposed to be a game of, you know, being honest. You get cheaters out there that mess with their scorecard and play stuff and manners. Here we go. Come on. Come on. You've made us wait. Hennessy. D-bag Hennessy. Yeah, he is. It's the Dirty Water crew. That says it all. Come on, man. I mean, thanks for the chest, but did you have to waste 40 seconds of my life? Now, what would really suck right here, we just can't make this. We don't want to make this hole. We don't want to end up with an 18. Because what'll happen, so if I got the 18, I'm going to have an 18 with an Albie. Somebody up here's got the 18 with the Albie. And that'll throw me up into the qualification zone. So I got to make sure I don't Albie this. So if wherever we're at, we don't want to Albie it. Condor maybe, but not Albie. This has got to be the hole. I cannot believe that they didn't put that hole in. I mean, of all of the par 5s in the game that are albiable, that is like the most albiable hole. I mean, it's one of the most albiable holes. I can't believe they didn't put that in this tournament. What a bummer. What a bummer. Now, there's a bunch of ways to play this hole too. So depending on what kind of ball you want to bring out and what your clubs are, you can, okay, in one-on-one, I always lay up right here, and then in between these two, you're bouncing through and coming up towards the cup. So that's pretty much one-on-one play. You can bounce over to this side. Getting up here to the front, you've got a beautiful short iron shot. If you use a Kingfisher and you've got a lower developed Kingfisher, you've got lower developed clubs, and you get up into this area, you may have problems because you'll be right on your red line where you need to be to take the shot. And you have several options to take the shot. You can do a rough bump from here, from this side, or you can try and go straight at the cup. And you may have red line issues if you've got lower developed stuff. If you've got upper developed clubs, you probably won't have the red line issue with the Kingfisher. The other way you can go is you can hit it out onto this side to try and bring it along, and you have several options from here. You can bounce it over, you can do the rough bump, or you can go straight at it. And I think from this side right here, the rough bump is definitely good. So this is one of those holes where it's not a bad deal to have both shots in your bag, because if the wind's blowing this way, on your drive you're going to get getting, so let me clear this off. If the wind's blowing, let me pull my pin over here. If the wind's blowing in this direction and you hit it out to here, your shot to the cup is against pure side wind. So if you hit it out to here, your shot to the cup is with tailwind, and the adjustment is so much easier to make. It's basically down to hitting it perfect. If the wind's blowing in this direction, you hit it out here, now we've got wind blowing behind us, and we've got the same situation, whereas if you hit over here, now you've got side wind, pure side wind, and it's always better to hit against tailwind than it is against side wind. If you've got a wind that's running up the middle, both sides are going to be equally benefit, but if you're laying it up here and taking your sniper through, then you're going to have the benefit of having pure tailwind, where basically it boils down to hitting it perfect. So this may be one of those holes that you might want to have 2 shots in your bag, depending on which way the wind's blowing. And it takes about as much effort to get out over here as it does to get out over here. You can take this with a power 3 ball if the wind's blowing right. Let's switch the way the wind's blowing. Wind's blowing right. So the wind's blowing more for the shot on the side that I want to take. So the shot to the right, and that's really the shot that I want to take. And I'm just going to play it. I think with that wind I could probably get away with a tight. I think I can. Probably switch that up. Do a Titan. The king of balls. That's right. You heard it. Absolutely. Okay, 3, 6, 1.5 per ring. About 2.5 rings. And 1 ring right to the left. That might put me in trouble on the other side. I might clear the tip, or I might fall into that sand. Just cleared it. Just cleared it. And I'm not sure. There is a good rough bump that you can do from over here, but I'm not sure I'm going to take the rough bump. I think I'm just going to go straight at it. And I should have just about a pure tailwind. Not quite, but pretty close. Oh, this sucks. So if I get the Albi right here, which I really need to go for, I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna hit the ball right where I'm at and not move it much, so that I can drop a shot and then I can go for the Albi, because I don't want to hit an Albi right here. There's Min. There's Max. The mid club is at the rough bump, and I don't have enough topspin for that. And I definitely feel like I'm more towards mid than I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here. And just pop it forward so that I can drop a shot, and then I can really go for the Albi. And my opponent's going, "What in the hell did you just do, dude? What did you just do?" What club are they using? A thorn? I know with a hornet's got enough topspin that you can do the rough bump. And I'm not sure what the rings are on a thorn. I think for most of its life it's somewhere right around 2 per ring. 1.9, somewhere in that neighborhood. 2.1. I never played that much with a thorn. Thorn does, when it gets upper developed, guys, a great ball guide. It's especially good if you are doing max backspin shots. So we're at about mid club. So times 3.9 divided by 1.6. I'm going to move it about 2.6 rings. I'm going to put one backspin. So 2.6 rings. There's 2.5. There's 2.6. Hitting it perfect. In the hole, finally made an Alvy. It took me 18 holes, or it took me 9 holes, but I finally made an Alvy. Look at that. I did a 5% adjustment on that hole too. I did 1.05 times the wind divided by 1.6 per ring at mid club. Kingfisher 1.6 mid club. All right, there you have it. I accomplished my goal. I did not qualify with that weak ass 18. I'll play tomorrow with my buddy Kevin, and we'll see what's going on. We'll see what kind of notes he has. Like I said, he's got a bunch of different accounts, so I'm sure he's going to have played a bunch of holes, and we can go out there and see where we're at with them. In the weekend round, I think you're going to have to shoot better than that 21. I mean, I think you're going to have to pick up. You're going to have to pick up probably 3 just to be in the. Just for people to start talking. The reporters are not going to start coming up to you and talking to you about your round and patting you on the back unless you shoot a 21 and pick up 3. But I think if you really want to win, you're going to have to pick up. Like, you're going to have to find some other hole. And 1 and 2 and this last hole, I mean, those are killer opportunities, and every hole has got a great opportunity, but I'll have to work on some of the middle holes just to increase my odds. But we have a lot of great opportunities out here to pick up shots, for sure. I get used to these scores, though. That blew me away. It's like, what the hell, 18? How many holes are we playing? All right, there is the Albatross-A-Ball 9-hole cup. That was my practice round. Sorry I didn't shoot a walkthrough this week. Like I said, I was really busy, and I didn't want to chase the holes around. I didn't have a lot of time to do it, and I thought I'd just wait and play a practice round. So that's what you got this week. Sorry. I'll do better next week. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I'll post some video. I'll post this video, and then I'll post my play tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes for qualifying. Thanks for watching. Have a great time. Stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.